The sea begins with a whisper, soft as a secret carried across endless waves. Each tide moves like breath, slow, steady, eternal, beyond the grasp of human time. The night sky bends low to meet the water, and stars scatter like pearls on its surface. Beneath the calm lies a realm unseen, deeper than dreams, darker than memory itself. This is the Abyss Eternal, where silence hums like a song older than the world. Sailors spoke of it, voices trembling as if the ocean itself listened to their words. They said Poseidon waited there, not as a figure of wrath, but of vast stillness. He is the pulse of the sea, the unseen hand that guides the shifting tides. His throne is not of gold, but of coral, stone, and living creatures in endless harmony. The ocean is his temple, a cathedral of currents, light, and shadow, unbroken by time. When waves rise, it is his breath. When they fall, it is his gentle silence. Tonight, we descend into his realm, not to conquer, but to listen and to remember. For the story of Poseidon is not of war, but of eternal balance and infinite depth. The ocean begins with a murmur, a sound softer than breath, rising and falling with the tide. Every wave carries a story, written in salt, carried across distances too vast to measure. The whisper of the tides is ancient, older than the first ship that cut across its face. Listen closely, and the sea does not roar. It speaks in rhythms both patient and eternal. The sound is steady, like a drumbeat, guiding hearts that wander too far from their own. Travelers once leaned close to the water, hearing secrets carried by currents beneath the moon. They believed each ripple was a message, each crest a word, each crash a revelation. The ocean speaks in languages untranslatable, yet every soul feels the meaning inside. Children of the shore learn to sleep with it, like a lullaby sung by unseen voices. Fishermen rose at dawn to its call, trusting the tides to show where life might be found. And still, the whisper reaches deeper than survival. It touches the mystery of existence itself. There is no silence at sea, only a chorus too vast for human ears to fully hold. The whisper hums through shells pressed to ears, echoing worlds beyond the surface of sound. It tells of the moon pulling the waters, and the waters answering with ceaseless devotion. It tells of the sun scattering gold across the surface, painting warmth upon restless depths. But beneath those tales lies another, quieter truth, hidden in the pulse of the abyss. The whisper is not only the ocean's, it belongs also to the one who dwells within it. Poseidon's presence moves like an undertow, unseen, shaping tides without raising his voice. He does not thunder when he wishes to be heard. He lets the tide carry his will. The whisper becomes his message, patient and vast, carried across coasts and into human dreams. Some nights, sailors swore they heard it as words, though they could never recall them fully. Others felt it as a stirring in their chest, like longing for a place they never knew. The whisper does not command. It guides, inviting mortals to listen, to yield, to belong. To walk the shore at dusk is to hear it rise, weaving with wind and fading light. Each wave folds over another, each sound stacking like pages in an eternal book of water. And though it never ceases, it never repeats, just as no two waves are ever the same. Those who dwell inland forget this language, their hearts dulled by stone and silence of earth. But when they stand at the shore, it returns, a forgotten melody stirring something deep within. The whisper is not only sound, it is memory, desire, and the call of something eternal. It lingers in the mind like a dream too vivid to be dismissed upon waking. It is the invitation of the sea, urging all who hear it to step closer, to trust. Closer until sand softens beneath the tide and the horizon stretches beyond imagination. Closer until the heart beats with the rhythm of waves, steady, ancient, unbroken. This is the whisper of the tides, not a warning, not a threat, but a call that has echoed since time began, from the surface of the world to its abyss. The voice of the ocean is endless, yet it always begins again with a single wave. And when you hear it, you are no longer only yourself. You are part of something vast, part of the ocean's memory, part of its song, part of its eternal, unyielding tide. The whisper waits for all who listen, patient as the sea, eternal as Poseidon's gaze. Beneath the surface lies a world untouched by light, a place the sun has never dared to enter. The waters deepen, layer upon layer, until blue fades to black and silence reigns eternal. This is the forgotten depths, a realm unseen, yet alive with a presence beyond imagination. It is not empty darkness, but a living cathedral carved by time, shadow, and silence. The abyss does not welcome all. It waits for those who listen, those who are willing to see. Sailors once whispered of trenches so vast, they swallowed entire fleets without leaving a trace. But those were not tales of doom. They were fragments of awe, attempts to explain the infinite. The deeper one goes, the more the world above begins to lose its meaning and its weight. Sound fades first, muffled until only the rhythm of a heartbeat seems to remain. Then comes the pressure, not of pain, but of reminder, that here nothing belongs except the sea. And yet, life dwells here, luminous and strange, creatures that carry light in their own fragile bodies. They drift like stars scattered across a night sky, glowing silently in the endless dark. Every flicker is a story, every shimmer a testimony that even in shadows, wonder thrives. The forgotten depths are not barren. They are endless, mysterious, and filled with hidden voices. Some say Poseidon himself walks these valleys, unseen, leaving only ripples in the currents. His presence is not marked by thunder or waves, but by the stillness that bends the abyss. Where he passes, silence deepens, and the ocean seems to hold its breath in reverence. The depths become a mirror, reflecting eternity untouched by storms that rage above. To enter this place is to step beyond time, where moments stretch into endless silence. The abyss does not rush, does not demand. It teaches patience, stillness, surrender. Those who dream of control find nothing here but their own reflection in infinite dark. But those who surrender hear it, a voice not in words, but in currents and quiet songs. The forgotten depths hum with Poseidon's presence, a resonance felt more than heard. It is the heartbeat of the ocean itself, steady, patient, echoing forever. Sailors who returned from journeys near the abyss spoke with eyes distant and wide. They carried no treasure, no map, only a silence that never left their bones. They said the abyss teaches not through answers, but through the weight of its stillness. The sea above is restless, full of motion, but below, everything moves at eternity's pace. Even the smallest drift feels endless, as though each moment belongs to another world. The abyss stretches without end, but in its vastness, there is no fear, only awe. To gaze into it is to feel both small and infinite, fragile yet eternal. It is a place that belongs to Poseidon, yet he shares it with all who listen. For the forgotten depths are not hidden to punish, but to remind us of mystery. They remind us that not all can be seen, not all can be measured or owned. The sea keeps its secrets not to guard them, but to keep them alive, breathing. Each current is a page, each shadow a verse, each glow a fleeting, fragile word. The forgotten depths sing softly, not to the ear, but to the soul of those who enter. It is not a song of endings, but of continuance, an echo of eternity. To descend is to meet silence. To rise is to carry its memory forever. And so the depths remain, waiting, endless, patient, untouched. A world within the world. The forgotten depths are Poseidon's heart, vast, eternal, and forever listening. Before the sea was named, before waves knew the pull of the moon, there was only silence. From that silence came the first shapes, the first gods, born of chaos and eternal night. Among them was Poseidon, a child of the vast, a son of the ancient powers of earth and sky. He was not yet the lord of the sea, for the waters had no master, only endless motion. His brothers rose beside him, Zeus with the storm, Hades with the shadow, each holding dominion. Yet Poseidon felt no call to sky or to stone. His soul belonged to shifting waters. He was drawn to the deep, to the rolling expanse where no boundary could ever endure. When he touched the sea, it answered, rising like breath, folding itself into his embrace. The ocean knew him, as if it had always waited, always kept space for his presence. No crown was placed upon him, no throne carved by hand. His rule was born of belonging. The sea carried his voice, soft yet unyielding, through every current, every tide, every shore. He became not just a ruler, but a heartbeat, the living pulse beneath the surface of time. The birth of Poseidon as Ocean King was not of conquest, but of union, of recognition. He did not seize the waters. They gave themselves freely, as rivers give themselves to the sea. Legends say his first steps into the depths stirred life itself, awakening creatures unseen before. Fish leapt where his shadow fell, dolphins followed, and whales sang to mark his arrival. Even the smallest shells turned their faces to him, as if honoring the rhythm he carried. The earth trembled at times beneath his stride, but not from fury, only from his vast presence. He carried a trident, not as weapon, but as symbol, a sign of balance, direction, and order. Each point was said to touch a realm, sea, sky, and earth, uniting what was once divided. The gods watched, some in awe, some in envy, yet none could deny his bond with the sea. For while Zeus wielded thunder and Hades guarded shadow, Poseidon held eternity in his tides. The ocean grew with him, waves rising higher, depth stretching deeper as if breathing his name. Mortals came later, but even before them, the sea had already learned to listen to him. His laughter was said to echo like surf against cliffs, his silence like calm seas at dawn. He was not storm alone, nor calm alone. He was both and more, the shifting of all things. The ocean was his reflection, vast, changing, unknowable, never confined to one single form. When mortals first built boats, they prayed not for calm seas, but for his acknowledgement. They knew no sail could rise, no oar could move, without his unseen hand upon the tide. He was the ocean's guardian, but also its mystery, holding secrets deeper than trenches below. Some called him Father of Waves, others Keeper of Horizons, names endless as the sea itself. But he did not require titles. His truth was carried in every ripple that touched the shore. His birth as Ocean King was not marked by triumph or clash, but by belonging. He was the sea, and the sea was him, eternal, inseparable, vast beyond measure. And so, when one stands at the water's edge, hearing the endless call of waves, they listen to him. For Poseidon still speaks, not in thunder or command, but in the eternal breath of the sea. His story begins not with war, but with union, not with conquest, but with recognition. This is the birth of the Ocean King, timeless, infinite, forever bound to the abyss. Beneath the endless waves lies a kingdom without walls, a realm built not by stone, but by nature itself. This is the throne of coral and stone, a palace shaped by time, current, and living light. No mason carved its pillars, no hand placed its crown. Only the ocean's patience gave it form. Columns rise from the sea floor, woven from coral branching like trees, glowing with hidden fire. Each reef is alive, each wall a garden, breathing with colors unseen on land. Fish weave through arches like dancers in a hall, their scales scattering fragments of rainbow light. The stones are not cold marble, but ancient rock, softened by waves and shaped by tides. They carry the memory of mountains long sunk, now resting as the foundation of the deep. Upon these natural thrones sits not a tyrant, but a guardian, a king who listens. Poseidon's seat is no golden chair. It is the sea itself, vast, eternal, alive with motion. He rests where the currents meet, where silence and song join, where all creatures gather unseen. His court is a choir of whales and dolphins, their voices echoing through the vaulted abyss. Each note resounds like prayer, rising upward, carried far beyond the surface world. Even the smallest creatures, shells and crabs, scuttle across his halls as keepers of rhythm. The throne of coral and stone is not a palace of conquest, but of harmony. Every being belongs here. Not by force, but by the balance woven into ocean's design. The corals guard the walls, growing endlessly, shaping arches where light filters like stained glass. Shadows of manta rays drift above like banners unfurled, silent and graceful in their flight. The floor is a mosaic of shells, polished by centuries, each one a fragment of time. No jewel could rival their beauty, for they shine with life, not lifeless glitter. Poseidon does not sit above his court, but among it, his presence felt in every current. He listens to the hum of the ocean, the pulse of the tides, the whispers of fish. Every creature carries a voice in his kingdom, each song part of the endless chorus. The throne is not a symbol of dominance, but a reminder that the sea itself is ruler. Mortals imagined golden crowns, jeweled halls, but truth is far greater than any dream. What need has the ocean for wealth when it holds infinity in its depths? The throne of coral and stone is the sea's promise that beauty thrives in patience and silence. For coral takes centuries to rise, yet grows with quiet resilience, unyielding to time. It is a throne that cannot be stolen, cannot be moved, for it belongs only to the abyss. Legends say those who glimpse it are changed, their hearts softened by awe, their souls quieted. They speak not of grandeur, but of peace, of a presence that needs no display of power. For here Poseidon is not storm-bringer, but keeper of balance, guardian of life uncounted. The ocean bows not with fear, but with reverence, each wave bending in silent recognition. The throne is endless, for as coral grows, the palace reshapes, alive in every season. It is a reminder that the sea does not age as mortals do. It endures, it creates. The throne of coral and stone is eternal, a living cathedral where silence is sacred. Its song is carried in bubbles that rise, in whales that sing, in tides that turn. It tells the world above, the ocean is not emptiness, but a kingdom alive with wonder. And at its heart, Poseidon remains, not as conqueror, but as eternal witness of the abyss. Far from the glowing palace of coral, The ocean keeps its deepest secrets cloaked in silence. This is the abyssal plain, a world without sun, where darkness rules like an endless night. No light breaks the surface here, no color paints the water, only shadows and stillness remain. It is a desert of the deep, yet alive with creatures born of pressure and patience. Strange beings drift like ghosts, their bodies translucent, carrying lanterns of their own making. Tiny sparks of bioluminescence glow as if stars had fallen into the sea. Jellyfish pulse in rhythm, their bodies weaving light in the blackness, delicate and eternal. Long, slender fish dart between currents, their eyes glowing with quiet fire. The abyss is silent, yet filled with whispers. Each ripple a memory, each echo a trace. Here the sea speaks differently, not in song but in vibrations, felt more than heard. To mortals, it would seem empty, but to Poseidon, it is a cathedral of stillness. He knows every trench, every current, every stone that lies forgotten in the black depths. He walks not with footsteps, but with thought, moving like current across unseen ridges. The abyssal plain is a realm untouched by storms, where even time itself seems slower. Creatures survive not with speed, but with patience, conserving life as if guarding a sacred flame. Their beauty is not golden or bright, but quiet, mysterious, a testament to endurance. The plain stretches endlessly, flat and wide, like the ocean's hidden foundation. It is the bed where history rests, where ancient bones and shells become part of the earth. Mountains long drown sleep here, their peaks covered in sand, their stories forgotten by mortals. But the ocean remembers, and Poseidon remembers, for the abyss holds all that has ever been lost. Every ship that sank finds silence here, its wood softened, its iron dissolved into nothingness. The abyss takes, but it also keeps, turning wreckage into reefs, silence into song. It is not a graveyard, but a place of transformation, where endings become beginnings. Even here, life blooms in unexpected forms, creatures thriving where none should survive. Poseidon watches them with quiet pride, knowing the abyss belongs as much as the surface. The abyssal plain is not barren, but sacred, a reminder that beauty exists even in emptiness. Each shadow carries a secret, each ripple a story, each creature a spark of wonder. Here lies the oldest truth of the sea, that life can thrive even without the sun. The plain is not silent to those who listen, but alive with murmurs and unseen prayers. The whales pass above, their voices traveling far, reaching even the deepest floor. Their songs linger, vibrating through sand and stone, echoing like bells in a hidden temple. The abyss listens, holds the sound, carries it long after the singers are gone. Poseidon lingers in this vast silence, not as ruler, but as witness to eternity. He feels the patience of the abyss, its acceptance of time, its gentle, unending stillness. The surface knows storms and change, but the abyss teaches the art of quiet endurance. For here, nothing is hurried, nothing is wasted. Everything is part of a greater balance. The abyssal plain is eternal, not because it is empty, but because it is complete. A vast canvas of black, yet painted with sparks, with whispers, with unseen beauty. And Poseidon, eternal wanderer of the sea, holds this place as one of his greatest sanctuaries. It is a throne without walls, a temple without pillars, a silence that sings without sound. The abyss waits, patient as always, knowing its truth will never fade nor be forgotten. For in its darkness lies the eternal promise. Even where light does not reach, life endures. Beyond the stillness of the abyss lies a realm shaped not by silence, but by fire and birth. This is the kingdom of hydrothermal vents, where the seafloor breathes with molten heart. Black chimneys rise from cracks in the earth, exhaling plumes of smoke into the dark water. But this smoke is no poison. It is life, rich with minerals, warm against the frozen sea. Here, where sunlight has never reached, the ocean makes its own light, its own fire. Creatures gather around the vents like pilgrims, drawn to the warmth, sustained by the flow. Tube worms stand in forests, pale and tall, their bodies red-tipped with bloodless color. Shrimp cluster on the rocks, eyes glowing faintly, moving as one across the hot stone. Crabs crawl through plumes of heat, fearless, their shells hardened by centuries of survival. It is a kingdom born of contradiction, fire and water, life in a place thought lifeless. No green plants grow here, no sun feeds them. Yet the vents sustain an entire world. Tiny microbes feast on minerals, turning darkness into nourishment, heat into growth. From these microbes, life unfolds upward, layer upon layer, until great creatures thrive. The vents are pillars of creation, places where the sea renews itself again and again. Poseidon walks here with quiet reverence, for even he is humbled by their endless power. He does not command the vents. They belong to the earth, to the hidden fire below. But he guards them as a shepherd, for they are the pulse of the ocean's deepest heart. Without them, life at these depths would fade. The abyss would become only silence. The vents roar, yet in their roar there is music. A hymn of survival, a song of fire. It echoes upward through the black, carrying warmth into the cold, promise into the void. Creatures dance in this unseen light, weaving their lives around the chimneys of flame. The water shimmers with heat, bending shapes, distorting shadows into living mirages. It is not chaos, but order, an ancient rhythm that has existed for eons uncounted. Every vent is both fragile and eternal, lasting decades before fading into silence again. But while they live, they give, pouring life into waters that would otherwise hold none. Poseidon listens to their song, not with ears, but with spirit, hearing the ocean's heartbeat. It is steady, powerful, unyielding, a reminder that life does not need the sun to endure. Mortals imagine only light above, but the vents prove the sea has its own sun below. Not a burning star, but a secret fire, hidden in darkness, unseen by most eyes. Legends speak that these vents are the ocean's forge, where Poseidon tempers his trident. But truth is simpler. They are life itself, pure and raw, flowing without need for myth. For here, life begins in places thought impossible, a miracle born in hidden fire. The vents are altars, rising from the earth, pillars where the ocean bows in reverence. Even whales passing above know their song, feeling warmth carried by unseen currents. They turn in their journey, honoring the hidden kingdoms they never truly see. The kingdom of hydrothermal vents is a paradox, a secret, a truth beyond all measure. It is proof that the ocean is not bound by light, but by resilience, by endless creation. Poseidon lingers in their glow, knowing he witnesses one of the sea's greatest wonders. Not a palace of stone, nor a throne of coral, but a cradle of beginnings eternal. And in the darkness, the vents rise and fall, giving, breathing, creating without end. For as long as the sea endures, these hidden fires will burn, unseen but everlasting. Beneath the shifting waves lies a realm unlike coral palaces or fiery vents, a kingdom woven from drifting clouds. This is the domain of the currents, where rivers of the sea carve invisible highways across the deep. They twist and bend without walls, without borders, yet they guide the life of the ocean. Each current is a hand unseen, shaping journeys, carrying warmth, delivering life across endless distances. The Gulf Stream moves like a great serpent, winding from tropics to northern seas, giving warmth to cold waters. Other currents sink, heavy with salt, pulling cold breath down into the abyssal dark. Together they form a circle, a wheel of endless motion, the ocean's great heart beating. No city on land could rival this system, vast and unbroken, older than any empire. Fish trust the currents as roads, riding their flow to feeding grounds and hidden sanctuaries. Whales cross oceans with faith in their direction, following paths written in water alone. Even the smallest plankton drifts upon these highways, feeding millions as they travel unseen. The currents carry not only life, but memory, whispers of storms, traces of ancient tides. They link every sea, making the oceans one body, one voice, one eternal song. Poseidon walks these waters not as ruler, but as shepherd, guiding the flow with care. He does not force their path, for they follow laws older than gods, older than stars. But he listens, he nudges, he ensures the wheel keeps turning, the breath keeps flowing. Mortals speak of the jet streams above, yet here below lie streams far greater, far older. They are the veins of the ocean, pulsing with warmth and cold, carrying life with each beat. When storms rage above, the currents carry their echo, dispersing fury into quiet rhythm. When glaciers melt, their waters join the cycle, changing the pulse of the eternal wheel. The domain of the currents is invisible, yet everything depends on it. Everything listens to it. Corals bloom where warm waters flow, deserts form where cold currents rise and starve the light. Seabirds know these paths too, skimming the surface, following the invisible rivers below. Even sailors of old sensed them, their ships moving faster, their journeys shaped by unseen hands. Legends told of gods pushing their sails. Yet truth was the ancient pull of currents. Poseidon smiles at such tales, for though unseen, the truth is greater than myth itself. Here, he is less king than guardian, a watcher of balance, a keeper of rhythm. He knows each current by name, not with words, but with the song they carry. The warm waters hum with a deep, steady note, while the cold sing sharper tones. Together, they weave a harmony, endless and perfect, a choir that never ceases. No throne could be grander than this music, no temple more sacred than this balance. The domain of the currents is a living map, forever shifting, forever renewing itself. It cannot be captured on charts, for it changes with season, with storm, with time. And yet, it is eternal, for the wheel will always turn, the ocean will always breathe. Poseidon lingers here often, listening, feeling, letting the rhythm move through his spirit. He knows that when mortals gaze at the sea, they see only surface, only waves. But beneath, there is a vast system of veins and arteries, carrying the soul of the ocean. It is unseen, yet essential, fragile, yet eternal, simple, yet more powerful than any crown. The domain of the currents is the ocean's heartbeat, steady and eternal, never truly at rest. And in that endless pulse, Poseidon finds his own silence, his own eternal place. Far above the abyss, yet still beneath the surface, lies a kingdom built from silver light and endless motion. This is the realm of the shoals, where fish gather in millions, moving as one vast living body. From a distance, they shimmer like liquid metal, flashing in waves that ripple across the sea. Each fish is small, fragile, vulnerable, yet together they become a force greater than storms. Their unity is their strength, their movement a dance older than human memory. The shoals twist and turn in perfect rhythm. No leader, no crown, only instinct and trust. Predators may chase them, but their strength is in the many, not the one. A single fish can be lost, but the shoal continues, eternal, flowing like a silver river. The dance of the shoals is not chaos, but harmony, a language of movement without words. Each flash of light is a signal, each turn a message, woven through generations, unbroken. Mortals watching from boats see only beauty, unaware of the wisdom carried in the dance. For here lies a lesson. Survival is not in strength alone, but in belonging to the whole. Poseidon watches with quiet reverence, for the shoals are his choirs of motion and light. They do not sing with voices, but with rhythm, weaving their own song across the sea. Their shifting shapes form patterns like clouds, like smoke, like dreams that vanished too soon. Yet always they reform, never lost, always flowing, as if guided by unseen hands. The shoals move with the currents, riding them like highways, feeding as they travel. Seabirds above dive into their midst, breaking their surface, but never breaking their harmony. Dolphins join their journey, herding and playing, weaving joy into the great silver dance. Even the whales honor them, rising through their rivers of light with gentle, patient hunger. For all creatures are bound to the shoals, for they are the ocean's great givers of life. They feed the many, sustain the great, and yet remain endless, reborn each season. The shoals are abundance itself, a promise of the ocean's generosity, its eternal renewal. Poseidon calls them not his armies, but his pilgrims, for they journey without rest or end. Their purpose is not conquest, but balance, moving life across seas both warm and cold. Each shoal knows its path without maps, guided only by ancient memory carried in blood. They vanish into the dark, then return, endless, like the tides, like the breath of the sea. Their strength is not in teeth or claws, but in trust, in the unseen bond of many. Even in their fragility lies greatness, for they remind the ocean that unity is power. Mortals may see them as food, as harvest, yet the truth is far greater, far deeper. For without the shoals, the ocean would starve, its circle of life broken, its harmony lost. Poseidon guards them not with walls, but with currents, guiding their rivers through safe passage. He listens to their rhythm as if it were prayer, a steady beat in his endless kingdom. The realm of the shoals is a cathedral without stone, without pillars, only light and motion. Every shimmer of silver is a candle, every turn a hymn, every wave a sermon. It is a reminder that greatness is not always in the mighty, but in the many together. The shoals are the sea's breath, its silver flame, its eternal promise of renewal. And in their endless dance, Poseidon finds a truth deeper than power, that harmony is eternal. Far below where light dares not reach lies a kingdom of silence, endless and untouched by the world above. This is the abyssal plain, a desert of darkness stretching farther than any land ever known. Its floor is soft with ancient dust, the remains of countless lives drifting down through time. There are no trees, no mountains, no rivers here, only a vast flatness that whispers of eternity. Yet even in this emptiness, life stirs, fragile but unbroken, glowing like stars in a midnight sky. Tiny creatures drift, carrying sparks of light, painting the abyss with lanterns of their own making. Each glow is a survival, a defiance of the crushing weight that presses down without mercy. For here, the ocean is not gentle but immense, its pressure strong enough to shape stone. To mortals, it is unthinkable, unbearable, but to the abyss, It is only the natural breath of time. Poseidon walks here softly, for this kingdom is sacred, a place of silence older than song. He does not bring storms or thunder, for such noise has no meaning in this endless dark. Instead, he listens to the silence, a silence so deep it becomes its own kind of music. In the abyss, every flicker of life is precious, every glow a hymn of resilience. Strange creatures move with grace, their bodies shaped by shadow, their beauty hidden from the world. Some bear wings of glass, drifting like angels, their light pulsing with slow, eternal rhythm. Others crawl upon the plain, armored in silence, leaving trails upon the dust of ages. These beings are not monsters, but survivors, keepers of a secret balance few will ever see. For the abyss is not barren but alive, whispering lessons of patience, stillness, and endurance. Here, time moves differently, measured not by hours, but by the slow drift of eternity. A single grain of dust takes centuries to settle, yet the abyss accepts it without hurry. There is no rush, no fear of ending, only the quiet cycle of life and death. Mortals imagine the abyss as emptiness, but Poseidon knows it is full of hidden wonders. A garden without sunlight, a choir without sound, yet still a kingdom of unshakable majesty. When he passes, the creatures do not flee, for they know his presence carries no threat. He bends to touch the dust, feeling the weight of ages collected beneath his hand. The abyss does not ask for worship, only to be left in peace, to breathe in its rhythm. It is not a place of grandeur, but of humility, where life survives by quiet strength. Poseidon honors this place, for it reminds him that not all kingdoms are loud with glory. Some rule by silence, by patience, by the simple act of enduring what others cannot. Even the gods must bow to the abyss, for it is older, deeper, more eternal than their names. It is the ocean's memory, its archive of all that has fallen, all that has lived before. Every shell, every bone, every spark of light is preserved here, woven into the plain. And though it seems empty, it holds the story of the sea itself, unbroken, eternal. Poseidon lingers in the abyss, not as king, but as pilgrim, seeking wisdom in its silence. For in its stillness lies a truth, that life does not need light to endure, only will. And so the abyssal plain remains a desert of darkness, a cathedral of silence, forever untouched. Far to the west of the abyss lies a kingdom of fire, where the earth's breath rises from cracks in the sea floor. This is the realm of the hydrothermal vents, a place where darkness is broken by clouds of heat and mineral. Great chimneys rise like towers, spewing black smoke that curls into the endless water around them. Yet from these dark plumes comes life, strange and radiant, born not of light, but of heat and stone. Here the sun is forgotten, but still life blooms, fed by fire in the earth's hidden heart. Tube worms grow tall as banners, white and red, standing proud in the rising breath of the vents. Giant clams lie open like treasure chests, their shells glowing faintly with inner brilliance. Shrimps crawl across the hot ground, their eyes adapted to a world without sun or star. Each creature here is a miracle, living where mortals once thought no life could exist. They draw strength not from light, but from chemistry, from the minerals and fire of the deep. Poseidon walks among them with awe, for here the ocean teaches a lesson of resilience, that life is not limited by place or light, but finds a way in even the harshest realms. The vents roar like eternal forges, shaping kingdoms of stone and clouds of black smoke. Each tower grows taller with time, built from the breath of the earth itself. They are monuments not of marble or gold, but of fire and salt, fragile yet enduring. To mortals, these vents are alien, but to Poseidon, they are sacred temples of creation. He feels the pulse of the planet here, the deep fire that sustains the seas above. Every plume of smoke is a prayer, every spark of life a hymn to the ocean's endless power. The creatures here live in community, bound by the vent's warmth, thriving in its embrace. They are not many, but they endure, shining as proof that life is unbroken, unstoppable. Mortals who discover these places marvel, calling them wonders. Yet they are as old as time. For long before humans dreamed of gods, these vents sang their song in the abyss. Poseidon honors them, not as ruler, but as witness to their strange, hidden beauty. Here, he finds no throne, no palace, only the raw breath of creation itself. The vents are reminders that the ocean holds fire as well as water, silence as well as storm. They are the ocean's hidden forge, where new worlds are born in smoke and flame. Even in the absence of sunlight, they glow with a brilliance that defies despair. Each spark of life here tells the same story, that the ocean never stops creating. It is not a barren void, but a womb, eternal, carrying seeds of life in every depth. Poseidon listens to the hiss of steam, the crackle of stone, the whisper of fire. These sounds are ancient hymns, older than temples, older than names, older than gods. The realm of the hydrothermal vents is not gentle, but it is holy, fierce with creation. Here, the ocean shows its hidden truth, that even in darkness, the flame of life burns. And so Poseidon leaves this kingdom not with sorrow, but with reverence, carrying its song. For the vents are eternal forges, shaping life in silence, in fire, in the heart of the abyss. They are proof that the sea's power is not only in storm or tide, but in the quiet act of birth. And in their endless rising plumes, Poseidon sees the promise that life will never cease. The ocean is vast, eternal, unbroken, and within its heart lies the silence that holds all stories together. Poseidon has walked its kingdoms, from coral palaces to abyssal plains, each a verse in the sea's eternal hymn. He has seen light and shadow, fire and silence, abundance and emptiness, all bound within the ocean's breath. The sea is not one thing, but many, a mosaic of worlds, each alive with rhythm, each sacred in its own way. In its waves, life is born and reborn, rising and falling like the tide itself, unending, eternal. The shoals shimmer like silver rivers, the vents burn like hidden forges, the abyss whispers like an ancient prayer. Every realm is a note in a grand symphony, woven together into the ocean's endless song. Poseidon listens not as ruler, but as witness. For he knows he is but a keeper of balance. He does not command the tides, he honors them. He does not own the creatures, he protects them. For the sea belongs to none, not even gods, but to itself, eternal, sovereign, and free. Mortals see the waves from afar and think they understand, but they see only the surface, only the mask. Beneath, there are kingdoms that outlive empires, that hold wisdom no book could contain. The ocean is the first storyteller, and its language is silence, rhythm, and eternal motion. Poseidon is not its author, but its guardian, walking the line between myth and truth. He knows that when mortals speak his name, they honor not him, but the sea itself. For every legend of storms, every tale of wrath, carries within it the deeper truth of reverence. The ocean is not cruel, but vast, not merciless, but eternal, beyond the measure of mortal scales. It is not meant to be conquered, but to be respected, listened to, and cherished. Poseidon's gaze stretches across the waters, and he sees both fragility and power woven together. The coral that shatters with a touch, yet builds palaces stronger than stone. The plankton unseen by mortal eyes, yet feeding the whales that roam across oceans. The silence of the abyss, yet filled with stars of light, born from the smallest lives. Each is proof that the sea's strength lies not in force, but in the harmony of its endless parts. And so Poseidon remains, not as a tyrant, not as a conqueror, but as a guardian eternal. He walks the waves, listens to the currents, honors the creatures, and keeps the rhythm alive. For the ocean must breathe, and its breath is life itself, flowing across the world unbroken. Mortals may build ships, cast nets, sing songs of glory, yet they remain guests upon the water. The sea is older than their bones, older than their dreams, older than their gods. And when they are gone, when their empires fade, the sea will still whisper, eternal. Poseidon will still walk its floor, unseen, unheard, yet ever present, keeping the balance. For his kingdom is not one of thrones or crowns, but of tides, silence, and eternal motion. The ocean is his temple, his home, his endless cathedral of light and shadow. And in its breath, he finds the truth. That eternity is not in power, but in harmony. The sea will always be vast and unbroken, and Poseidon will always remain, its eternal guardian. So when mortals stand at the shore and listen to the waves, they hear not just water. They hear the hymn of the abyss, the song of the shoals, the silence of the deep plains. They hear Poseidon's presence, quiet and eternal, woven into the ocean's endless breath. And though they may not know it, they stand at the edge of eternity, listening to the sea's eternal heart.